Good morning, Jake. Great to see you again. Wanted to talk to you a little bit today about some of the health issues you see with people coming in with addictions. What kind of things do you usually see people are struggling with their body?
Yeah, so obviously, outside of the mental health issues that we see, the physical issues, when you're using or you're drinking, you're just not taking care of yourself. And really, you don't even realize how bad a shape that you're in. And you don't feel necessarily the pain is your body telling you something's wrong. And whenever you're using, you're high, you're on a sedative, you're drinking, all that's suppressed. So it's kind of amazing whenever guys get here and they sober up and the amount of health problems that they want to get fixed while they're here. And it can be simple things in our teeth. They realize that they have some oral problems. There's some pain here, some pain there. And so they want to get looked at by a dentist. A lot of times that involves root canals and cavities and things like that. But it can go into more severe. We do a lot of testing here for bloodborne illnesses and things like that. So we see a lot of hepatitis, a lot of liver issues, the different drugs, the different alcohol has there's different problems that are associated with whichever specific drug that you're on. So if your alcohol is your drug, we want to get your liver enzymes tested. We want to make sure that you don't have any precancerous problems showing up or any calcification or anything like that. So we get guys tested for STIs. So they may come back with Hep C, HIV. There's different things like that show up that they want to get taken care of while they're here. And then you have things like open sores and stuff like that. If they're an IV drug user, they may have issues like that. So we have a nurse here on staff that can help facilitate some of that stuff. And then we do a lot of work with some local doctors and dentists and things like that as well.
Okay. How do you deal with the pharmaceutical side of that? Because if there's dependency on certain drugs, I'm sure that you must have to be quite careful about what type of recovery you set.
Yeah. So in today's world, the doctors really work well with this. It's pretty rare nowadays that you go in even for a surgery and they prescribe you an opioid. It's pretty controlled nowadays. They have really clamped down on the prescriptions of those. So we don't see it as much, but then they're sometimes unavoidable. If you had to get your wisdom teeth removed or you had to get a root canal, you're probably gonna need some pain medication. And so with that, we do want to make sure that that's supervised. We do want to make sure that the medication is safe and secure and that the clients are only receiving the medication that they need. And we really do work with them on, hey, this, especially if they're an opioid dependent person, like, hey, we don't want to go down this road again, but we try to use it as a positive. You're not going to go through life, most likely. If you live to your 70s, 80s, 90s, you're probably going to have some surgeries and you're going to be provided some opioids. You're going to be given some painkillers. So let's use this right now to do a trial on what that's going to be like later in your life. So this is how we're going to manage it. You need to have somebody that you can go to that can keep your medications for you. If you have a wife at home or something like that, and you want to make sure that you're held accountable, then you want to give them that medication. And so at the facility, you want to give it to the staff. You want us to dispense it out to you. We don't want you to have control of that bottle. We don't want there to be any urges or anything like that. And honestly, most of the time, if it's something like a root canal, in 2 or 3 days, they really don't need the medication anymore. And they're here to get well. And so they're pretty compliant and understanding with that. It's amazing now that you can get through the first couple days with some painkillers, and then after that, you can switch over to some ibuprofen. We have gone past that point of the overprescribing in America, really, that doctors just aren't going to do that anymore. So they've made it easy for us, but it gives us a chance to work with those clients on that stuff.
Yeah, so then once the chemical changes have happened in a person's body, and I know on site you have a gym, you have a pool, you have activities that people can do you see that sometimes people will try to overdo things? They need to kind of walk before they can run kind of thing? They need to ease into this. They've been sedentary, they've been maybe not exercising in a healthy way, not eating in a healthy way. How do you kind of manage the psychology of that?
Yeah, so there is a pretty good, I wouldn't necessarily call it a placebo effect. We like to call it a pink cloud around here, that whenever you get here, after you're here for about a week or two, you're going to feel really good because you really have forgotten what it's like to not have any chemicals in your body, to have a good night's sleep, to have some healthy meals, and you're going to feel pretty good. And you're going to want to play some catch up on some time that you've lost. And most guys that get here are not physically well, as far as that maybe they're overweight or they're underweight. It's pretty rare that we have somebody that's right there in the middle in a healthy weight. So at either one of those, whether it's overweight or underweight, you're going to want to go to, you're going to want to push yourself. But just because you're feeling great does not mean that your heart is 100% healthy again. Your lungs are healthy again. You don't want to overdo it because that can cause some stress to some vital organs that you don't want to have happen. So we do want to ease them into it a little bit. We do try to explain to them that you're going to feel good. Let's start out with a walk. I mean, literally a walk before you run. We're on 70 acres here. So let's take a walk. Let's walk for a mile today. Let's see how you feel. Let's work up to you actually running. And then we have a lot of guys here that they played sports in college and in high school, and they want to get back to that physical form. They're 30 now and they want to be 20 again. They've wasted 10 years using and drinking, and they want to get back to that. And so there is a little bit of a mental overcoming of, hey, you're not 20 anymore. That time has passed, but you can still be a healthy 30-year-old or 40-year-old. We can do that. We can work with you on that and help. But we have the gym here that gives them everything that they need. We don't have free weights here because we don't want them to push it. We have a lot of endurance things, some cycles and stuff like that, some rowing machines, stuff to kind of get them going.
Yeah.
But really the walking before they run on our acreage is really how we start.
I've even found that with my own personal physical routine, that because my lifestyle is so sedentary, I mean, I sit at the computer all the time, and then I'm like, oh, I'll train for the half marathon now. My cousin in the UK walks all the time, runs, swims, does all this stuff. He's like, oh yeah, you can do it. You can train in 16 weeks. And then I try, and in month 2, I tear something or something happens. I'm like, no, my Achilles isn't feeling good. And it's like, well, but I didn't walk first. I thought I could just go straight in and run again. And I used to be able to, like you said, the age makes a big difference. But then also the fact that your body is in detox mode and recovery mode from all of this abuse.
And look, don't get it wrong, you want to sweat. That's going to be part of your recovery to detox your body and get all of that stuff out of your system and hit a reset. That's part of it. But yeah, we have a lot of guys that we have a volleyball court here, and that's where most of our injuries occur. And they sprain a lot of ankles and tear a lot of ligaments and have a lot of knee problems and things like that. So it happens because they want to run before they walk. But sometimes, as drug addict myself, we don't like to be told what to do, and we like to figure things out on our own. We want to touch the hot stove. That's what we want to do. Because you tell us it's hot, we don't believe you. We want to figure that out for ourselves.
Yeah. Well, and there's an ego aspect for me anyway. I'm like, I can still do it. I can do it. And I'm like, oh, now I can't do the event because I'm injured and I can't run.
We see that a lot with the older guys.
Yeah. Thanks. I'm trying for this. And so nutrition is obviously a part of that. You've got the ability on hand to create the environment where they can have healthy regular meals and healthy snacks, and there's a chef, is that right?
Yeah, and we've kind of touched on this before. With the nutrition regimen that we have here, it is much different than what you would experience at, say, a heart hospital. We have a dietitian, we have a nutritionist that checks all of our menus and goes through all of that. And she has even told me it's just amazing, because she does this for hospitals too, the difference of what we need for our clients here versus in a hospital setting. It's a lot heavier in fats and proteins and salts, and that's for a specific reason, because of the malnourishment that guys have here. They're not eating well. But if they're overweight, we have that option. Our chef prepares multiple different meals, and if you have any allergies or anything like that, then it takes care of all that stuff for you. But yeah, all that is, we try to plan that per the individual, but most of the individuals are needing to put on some weight and get those healthy fats and those proteins in you.
Yeah. Well, as always, it's been very informative. I appreciate your time today, Jake, and I will speak to you again soon.
All right. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate you.
Thank you.